Hello, I am Bison, and today I'll be talking about cards of the day between October the 13th to October the 16th. And I'm by myself this week. Anyways, first card I'll be talking about today is Tokasaki Bika, yellow 3210K, music and Gao trait. For every marker under this card gains 2K. When you play this from hand, you could heal off top, and in the start of your Climax phase, you may pay the cost, which is discard Token Mickey Escalate from your hand to waiting room. If you do, search for 3 level 0 characters, show them to your opponent, put them under this card as a marker, then shuffle your deck. The Climax is a 1k one shot trigger, and you're not actually supposed to play it, so there's that too. So basically, the best way to call it is a 16k healer. So it's a big healer if you get the climb. Guess it's technically a climax combo going, and it gets rid of 3 characters from your deck, which technically a mill, I suppose. 3 cards you don't really need anymore, I suppose. It's okay. It's pretty average, to be honest, in my opinion. It's another healer that you could use. It's a yellow card, so your yellow healer, I suppose, if you want to call it. Next card, Cool High School Student Rin. Blue 002500, music and trait. If you have 6 or more cards in your hand, this card gains 1500. We've seen lots of cards like this. We all know they're good for the early game. So this is probably your early game card, and that's all I have to say about it, to be honest. Next card, Kamiya Now. Blue 227K, music trait. For every other music character you control, this card gains 500, and this card has Hand Encore. There is a card like this in Nidomaster. I have played it once. It was, well, at the time, it was okay-ish because the card did live for a while, and I was playing what everyone knows as the most annoying Haruka card to ever fight against. But I'm not sure how much it will stand now. You technically need a full field to even reach Finale power, which it shouldn't be an issue if you're attacking. But as far as defending goes, I'm not exactly sure. I'm pretty sure there are gonna be better cards than this, so I'll just leave it at that. Next card, Hojo Karen. Blue 2135, music trait. All your other music character gains 1k. When your other characters goes from stage to waiting room and discards in your back row, you can pay the cost, which is send this to waiting room. If you do, put that character back in the where that card was before. Basically, it's a sack encore, whatever you guys want to particularly call it. For most purposes, I suppose it's okay, but in comparison to like other versions of it, which they're generally cost 0, but they don't really come with any extra particular supports, I suppose it's fundamentally okay-ish. It kind of makes anti-change kind of pointless in a sense because then you could just sack the 2-1 and get away with it. Although it will still stop the attack, I suppose. That's a global 1k, so there's that. That being said, the Rin from the new generation combo is also a global 1k. Card's okay. Might make a good backup card if you don't want to use a level support or not play the new generation combo. Next card, Working, Producer. Red 001K, Music Trait. When you play this from hand to stage, you can pay the cost, which is 1 star. If you do, choose an energy drink or stamina drink from your waiting room, return it to your hand. Just for a refresher, the energy drink is the 2/4 yellow that chooses a character in the front in the center of your field, and that card can restand if it defeats its opponent. And the stamina drink is the 2-1 counter that event counter that either gives a 3500 counter, search for energy drink, or salvage your character. Yeah, that is all there is to it. It's really it just makes those two events more consistent. Next card, Relaxation Time, Anzu. Red 00500, music and candy trait. All your other music character gains 500 power. You can rest this card to choose a character, give it 1k and 1 level to end a turn, and this card cannot restand on your next stand phase. It's still a global 500. I would assume Anya will be better, but you could actually run both at the same time because this effect would actually trigger Anya's effect as well, and you will still get the global 500 regardless. You just will have the active ability happen once every second turn, I suppose, if you want to call it like that. Next card, Nina Minami. Blue 1045, music and sport trait. When you play Climax in the Climax zone, this card gets 1500. When this card refers to the opponent in battle and the Climax everyone's leaders in the Climax zone, look at the top 4 cards of your deck, choose a music character in them. Show it to your opponent, add it to your hand. Discard the rest to the read room, then choose one your character. Gains 2k till end of turn. The Climax is a 1k 1 gate trigger. That's a pretty good card. If you get the Climax combo going, that is. Basically, it's a 7k by itself with the Climax combo. Lets you build your deck. It's a +1 at multiple copies and gives an extra 2k. That's a good card. That is a good card. Oh my god, that's a good card. Oh my god. The only problem is that you kind of need the Climax to get this all going. Also, it will still reach 6k as long as you play a Climax. So if you play like the Onsu combo instead, you can just plus 2k on on this card, and it'll still be 8k, and you could like just pay 1 on the Onsu, and this card will still salvage for free, kind of. You kind of get my point. It's a good card. It's just gonna be an expensive card, isn't it? Okay, next card is KBYT Team Sachiko, red 1125, music and cute trait. Assist, card all music character in front of this gains 500 and hand encore. When you level up, choose one your character, give it 1k to end of turn. You can only use the second effect 2 times ever in one game for obvious reasons, so I'll just disregard that. The assist to give cards 500 and hand encore can help your less stable cards to be more stable, and any cards that could be anti-changed out, so it will just make it more frustrating to kill. Card's okay. I can still see it being used though, that's for sure. Next card, KBYD Team Sae, red 218k, music and Wafuku trait. And when you control a KBYD Team Sachiko and Yuki on the stage, this card loses a level in your hand. I already talked about Sachiko, and for a reminder of what Yuki was, it was the yellow 0015. When you play from hand, discard a Climax and pay 1 to salvage a Climax, and rest 2 to give a card 2k. I suppose the combo is okay-ish. The Sachiko will save Sae in most less dire, in the less in the worst case, I suppose, and it can technically make 10.5 level 2 when you need it. Well, need it on the turn you play it. I'll be honest, the combo kind of sucks, but yeah. And last card for Cinderella Girls, My First Star Uzuki, red 2175, music trait. Your other red character attacks, this card gains 1k. When this card refers to the opponent with a Climax star in the Climax zone, you may deal 1 damage to your opponent. Star is a comeback trigger. What's the best way to say it? I'm pretty sure you're not gonna be playing too many of this, because start with all your attacking cards have to be red to even get full potential, which would be with the Climax 10.5 by itself, with no support, I mean, or anything like that. Doesn't really benefit from like the energy drink, because you can only reverse your opponent once, because once you beat it once, it's already reverse state, then it's already in reverse state, you can't put it back in reverse state again. The bird one's all nice and stuff, but yeah, that's it. It has no particular need to hit any of levels, if any level needs, so that makes killing cards pretty simple. So there are better cards, I'm just gonna say that. Alright, next I'll be talking about Charlotte. Looks like they're gonna start cards of the day for that series now. So alright, first card is What Are You Thinking All Alone? Tomorrow Now. Yellow 3/10k, superpower is Student Council. When you have 2 or more superpower characters, this card gains 1k. This card activate once per turn. It's a Milburn. I can call it a Milburn because that just makes it more simple. Yeah, actually, I think that's really just it. It really does make the first one, the Musashi, look really bad, because it's still at 11k with the same amount of power with no particular drawback. The drawback being Musashi's cannot side attack. I think everyone in particular knows how good a Milburn would be, so I don't think I have to cover it too much. But yeah, it's a good card. Next card, Inner Apron Otasaka Ayumi, blue 3295, superpower and pizza sauce trait. When you have 2 or fewer Climax in your radio room, this card loses a level in your hand. When you have 2 or more superpowers in your superpower characters, this card gains 1k. When you play from hand, heal 1 at the top of your deck. It's an early play 10.5 healer. It doesn't really do anything else. I can't really say anything about it, so I'm just gonna move on. The Endless World Otasaka Ayumi, Blue 105k, Superpower and Piece of Salt trait. When this card declares an attack with Jumping with Joy in the Climax zone, you may send the top card of your opponent's stock to the waiting room. If you do, choose one of their cards from the waiting room, put it to a stock, and then this card gains a following ability. During the start of your encore phase, put this card to memory. Then choose one climax in your climax zone, put it in the waiting room, and then all players, place the top 15 cards of their deck to the waiting rooms. The climax is a 1k1 draw trigger. Just for reference, the send the climax to waiting room isn't actually part of the cost. It just happens. So if you have multiple copies of this out at the same time, it just happens. What's the best way to say it? It's a good way to get away with one climax out of their opponent's waiting room. It mills both characters, both decks. So if you are climax screwed, this is like the one way to get away with it very, very quickly, and hopefully make the opponent refresh without climax. Oh, just for reference, you don't get the card back. So once you kind of used up all of these, the climax itself is kind of just a draw trigger and kind of a dead card in your hand, unless you could use it for like a discard or something. It's okay-ish, I suppose. It's not in all to fairness, it's not particularly that great because you're only getting away with one climax, not like multiples, because even at multiple triggers of this, you still send in the top card of your opponent's stock, which is still going to be the climax, and then putting it back on top of that stock. So you're only going to get away with one at multiple copies. Although it's a whole lot better than trying to brainstorm yourself out of climax screwed, but you should really not be too worried about that in the first place. Next card, and oh my god, this is quite a doozy of a card. Challenging the Present, Otasaka Yu. Blue 0015, Superpower and Student Council. Recollection. When this card is in your memory, all players cannot take damage from their respective opponent's character's auto effects. And when this card gets reversed in battle, you can pay the cost, which is pay 1 and discard a card from your hand. If you do, search your deck for one superpower character, show it to your opponent, add to your hand, shuffle the deck, and if you are level 2 or lower, put this character to the waiting room. Put this character to the memory. Wow. This is well, to be fair, anti-burn isn't new per se, but this is the most effective anti-burn present, because as of right now, there's two different anti-burns that are in the game, because this card isn't technically in the game yet. It's just the Shana 1/1 that anti-burns if you have two or more flames out, and the one from Log Horizon, which just happens. Problem with that, the Shana one has questionable support because the card was a 1/1 1500 with 500 assist plus that ability, and Shiro from Log Horizon comes out at level 3, so it's entirely possible for your opponent to burn you out of level 3 before you even get to play the card. This card not only lets you search your deck, regardless, chances are it will in a normal game, this card will be in your memory. So yeah. Although this would make some cards in your deck kind of pointless to have, such as the level 3 now, which would have its ability negated by this card effect, because this does go two ways. It's not one way. Unlike the other two, so there's that thing. But if you are playing this card, you are probably not playing any kind of burn card in the first place. So yeah, this card can be a meta changer. Although in my personal opinion, it just might mean people might just play more clock kickers and restanders. Next card, gazing at the sky, Tomari now. Blue 001500, Superpower and Student Council. Your other character in the middle of your front row gains 500 power. And Brainstorm, review the top 4 and send them to the reading room. For every climax reviewed this way, this gains the following ability. Choose one of your characters against one of the following. When this card reverses your opponent in battle, search your deck for 2 superpowers, show them to your opponent, add to their hand. Discard 1 card from your hand to the reading room, shuffle your deck. Wow, this is a new Brainstorm, that's for sure. It would mean that you are kind of required to kill your opponent, so there's that. But also, the benefit to it is that you get to search for 2 cards, not 1, and lets you discard a card from your hand as well. So I can't really say how good this card is without seeing the base powers of their cards. Like for example, with Endless World, Otosaka Ayumi still only gains like 6k by itself. The lower three Ayumi is can be anti-change, so there's that too. But by that point, it might be too late. I don't know. And I don't think I need to mention anything. It's a card that's meant to die. So I suppose it's a good brainstorm. It's kind of a hit and miss because it's entirely possible that you might hit a climax and still not be able to get anything out of it. But I suppose it doesn't really cost you anything. It kind of costs your opponent stuff. So yeah, the support itself is kind of mild. It's not that great. Next card. Ooh, I actually don't know how to pronounce it. Sit, Focalist, Salah Shane. Yellow 002K music trait. All your other character in the middle of your front row gains hand encore. I I guess it's not superpower, so I get it's a bad card. There we go. Next card. Something important. Takujo Jochiro. Red 1045, superpower and student council. When you play this card from hand to stage, this card gains X. X equals number of superpower characters you have on field. This card has accelerate. Start climax zone, climax phase, my bad. You can pay the cost, which is in the top deck the clock. If you do, this card gains a level and a following ability. When this card reverses the opponent in battle, you can choose the superpower character from your reading room, return it to your hand. So if you're okay with clocking one, you will get checking powers again, a 7k that can salvage for free, and it's a +1 level, so this gets over level suiciders. Although there is that risk of anti-change, which I mentioned before, but being at level 1, I don't think it'll be too much of an issue, showing that there is a rather low rarity of level 1 anti-change, and I don't really think it's worth the cost. Card's okay, I suppose. I mean, like, it's a good card. It is a good card, so, because I have played a card with that first ability before, and the only difference is that it was a top deck check instead. So yeah, card's good. I say the card's good. I depending on how the overall looks like, it might be okay. Next card is visiting Nishimura Yusa, yellow 0015, superpower and student council. When this card reverses opponent in battle, and the level of that card is level 0 or lower, your opponent returns that card to your hand and then discard a card from their hand. This card changes during the climax phase to expression of Gi Misa from the rain room. I'm not gonna talk about the change quite yet, so I'm gonna talk. So let me get through this card. This is a terrible suicider. Anyone who's played Persona knows it and never played it. It's a terrible suicide because that means they can reuse the level 0 and then discard any card from their hand. That means they could like return the character to your hand, discard a climax, return the card to your hand, discard a level 3. I don't know, a card they cannot use, and then just play the level 0 again. Most level 0s people play are like utility cards, so that's an issue. Card's terrible. Never play it. Next card, Expression of Gi Misa. Yellow 0015, superpower and death trait. All your other superpower gains 500, and this card changes to the terrible suicide I just talked about. It's a global 500 that changes. So I suppose if you want to play Yusa, I guess you have a free change to a global 500. It's a terrible combo though. I highly suggest not playing this. Oh god, this card's a rare too, isn't it? Oh god, it's rare too. One of those bad rares. Just one of those. Alright, next card. Great Excitement, Takujo Jojiro. Red 00500, Superpower and Student Council. When you play this card from hand to stage, you can pay the cost, which is discard a climax. If you do, search your deck for a change. Show it to your opponent, add it to your hand, shuffle your deck. Cannot judge. First of all, there's only 2 changes that I know of, and they're both between Yusa and Misa, and I don't think either of them are worth searching for right now. So, moving on. Hatsune Today Mishimura Yusa. I'm pretty sure I messed that up, but whatever. Red 218K, superpower and student concentrate. When you declare an attack, how low in the climax zone, you can pay the cost for just one stock. If you do, choose one character from your room, return it to your hand, and then all your superpower gains 1K to end of turn. The climax itself is a stock 1 soul. So I guess it kind of makes a stock 1 soul into a 1K 1 soul, and you get a card out of it. Card's okay, I guess then. I don't know. At multiple copies, it's a +1, I suppose. If you're okay with paying more than one, but I'm not exactly sure how to judge this. This is kind of why I wish Xelnos was free. But whatever. Next card. Having a meal together. Otasaka Yu. Green 1025. This card is a counter for 1K. When you use this card back up, and all your characters are superpower trait, choose one your battling character, gains 1K. It's basically a 2K counter. 102K counter. Moving on. There isn't much to talk about. I'm assuming the majority if not all of your cards are gonna be superpower anyways. Supporter Kumagami, green 001500, superpower trait. When this card goes from stage to waiting room, you can pay the cost, which is 2 stock. If you do, search for a superpower character, show the opponent out to your hand, shuffle your deck. So when it dies, pay 2 to search for 1. I suppose it's still technically better than on play, but I guess it depends on the situation, huh? Card is like okay-ish, but it's no, I don't think anyone's gonna play it, to be honest. If they're not playing budget or anything. Next card, the world is not here. Otasaka Yu. Blue 218K, superpower and student council. When this card has a marker on it, this card gains a K and cannot declare it a direct attack. When you play this card from hand to stage, you can pay the cost, which is pay 1 and discard a card from your hand to waiting room. If you do, send all your cards in your waiting room back to deck, shuffle your deck, send the top card of your deck to under this as a marker. So this card is not actually limited to the 5 or lower deck refresh requirement. This card is just on hand to play. So if you would like to refresh just before level 2 and then you somehow find yourself climbing screwed with like maybe 30, 20 or 15 cards left in your deck, you could just play this and get away with it without having to pay any more. So that's a plus. And this card becomes a 219K. The only problem I have is this card cannot direct attack, and if your opponent's front row is empty, you cannot actually attack with this card. You may have to bring a support up just to get a full 3 attack, or just play over and be like -2, whatever. I just deck refresh, man. But I suppose everyone who's gonna play Charlotte is probably gonna tech in 1 anyway, just for the deck refresh ability. And the last card of the day, Ida Otaku Takujo Jotiro. Blue 2175, superpower and student council. During the start of climax phase, my bad, you can pay the cost, which is send the top deck to clock, which is an accelerate ability, by the way. This card gains 3K to end of your opponent's turn. It's a 2-1, so you only can play this at level 2 and higher, and you don't really want to take any more damage than you necessarily need it. So actually, I just realized accelerate really fits his ability, his superpower, I mean. But anyways, I don't really think anyone's gonna be playing this card, if not playing budget. So there's that. All right, and that is it for the cards of the day. The Automaster Cinderella Girls boosters are out. If people did not make it quite obvious already. So there's that. Have fun with that, people. I'm not gonna have fun trying to find a way to pay off this bill. And that is it for this week. Thank you for listening, and I hope I'll see you guys next week.